Auburn's in a prime spot to flip a very talented Texas defensive lineman.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day, or today, maybe your second listen, as this is a bonus edition of the show. We're joined by Brian Smith, host of The Portal, Locked On's recruiting, transfer portal, NIL show. And we've got a lot of recruiting action to talk about in our time together today. We'll talk about Auburn's quarterback commit, Peyton Falzone, taking his official, as well as just being more and more integrated, I think, with the Auburn fan base, which is cool. Lesiah Jackson, a name to recognize moving forward, I think. But let's start with Corey Wells, 4-star D lineman, committed to Texas. You're starting to see crystal balls and RPMs, Brian, come in of folks predicting Corey Wells to flip from Texas to the Auburn Tigers.
This is the kind of guy that you want if you're Auburn. Massive, tenacious, and has the frame to, if you really wanted to, not that this is Auburn's front, he could probably be a zero tech in some, adds just a little bit more weight. This is a really good football player. And by the way, Texas does not need to recruit the state of Mississippi, but they went after this kid. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Use the common sense here.
Yeah. How often is our folks, the coaching staff in Austin, going to peddle Mississippi?
Unless they're like me and they just enjoy the brisket very, very rarely, because it's on the edge of Hattiesburg. Great brisket. If you ever go to Hattiesburg, get the brisket. Got
it. Fair enough. I believe it. That makes sense. Yeah, this one's interesting. One, because he's committed to Texas, was here this past weekend. His brother was also here this past weekend, who's a linebacker at Petal. His name is Chris Wells. There's some speculation, like, are they a package deal? How much of that matters? It seems to matter some, but Corey is the higher recruited of the brothers. But it seems like Auburn is being very selective when it comes to their defensive line. They've been in it for a lot of guys, and they've been a little hesitant, I think, to fully pull the trigger on some of these guys. Corey Wells seems to be a guy where they're like, okay, yeah, we're ready for you to join this class.
I think that it's a matter of the NIL game being so grossly overrated in a lot of ways, but at D-line, there's just so few of them.
Good D-linemen are expensive.
Expensive is a very conservative word in this sense. Just put it in perspective, I'm not talking about Wells. I don't know what his NIL number is.
Yeah.
If you're getting a top defensive lineman, especially an interior one, whatever you think he's worth, you're probably paying 50% on top of that because somebody else is. Texas Tech, Texas, Tennessee. There just aren't enough of them. So you got to make that commitment. And like as a reminder, Ohio State was $33 million in the red last year to win a title. There is no profiting in winning titles. I know that's not what athletic departments want to hear, but that's what Auburn's up against too. If it happened at Ohio State.
As a fan, I don't care. Like, that's y'all's job to figure that out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's why you should look at it.
Yeah, right. It's like, it's not the fans' money. You know, you can ask for help and raise ticket prices a little bit, and folks will do their part, but like, that's not their job. Their job is to support the team. So yeah, Corey Wells, predicted by several folks to flip. I've heard the timeline could be quick on this. I've also heard that it may be in a future game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Corey Wells, the defensive lineman, committed to Texas, but he is from Petal, Mississippi. And then, I mean, what's your gut instinct on the situation with his brother, with Chris Wells? I mean, do you think they both end up in part of Auburn's class? Like, how do you think that's going to work? His brother's committed to South Alabama, for what it's worth.
This is a very unique scenario on both sides. If he's a kid that's really, truly more a South Alabama recruit, and I've never watched his film, his brother's legit, but I've never watched his film. Do you want to go to Auburn and be predominantly a special teams guy, et cetera, and just be at Auburn? Or would you rather go to South Alabama and play? So he's got to make his own honest assessment along with his family and everybody else. Can I really play at the SEC line? Because SEC linebackers are asked to do things that are almost impossible.
Yeah, I think he's going to be like, a lot of the places seem to see him as an edge at the next level. 6'3", 215 currently. That's what his 247 page says. Like, I don't know. Auburn has done a lot in the edge room lately, but they're losing a lot in the edge room lately. Yeah. And so is that something that could be appealing with Chris Wells? And some brothers want to play with each other and some don't. That always varies as well.
I would imagine it's going to be more gut than anything else. Now, how Auburn wants to do that, that's a private conversation. If they say he's not coming unless he comes with him, you get into those. There are some conversations like that happen recruiting. I have no idea what Auburn will do.
It's tricky.
Yeah, because it's 105 or whatever, and that just gets into math. I can't imagine though that, just from my perspective, an upper echelon D tackle, which I consider Corey to be, is worth two scholarships. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Even his brother never played a down, to me, it's worth 2 scholarships. How Auburn views that, they may go another direction.
I agree with you. I mean, you're always going to have the need for linebackers and edge guys and special teams guys. Like, why can't, if he's willing to take on that type of role, like, I don't really get the downside to this, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And there's a few crystal balls for him to go to Auburn as well, for what that's worth. So we'll see. We'll see. Corey and Chris Wells. Lesiah Jackson, the corner, committed to Stanford, took an official. No, he just took an unofficial this past week. He's got an official coming up in October to the Auburn Tigers. You're very high on him. Brian will tell folks why in just a moment, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book, with Auburn 25.5-point favorites right now against South Alabama. We'll see exactly how that transpires this weekend. If you want to get on the action and you never have at FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5. And if your first bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Can't beat that. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, investments. When you don't have the full picture, it's easy for things to slip through the cracks. Monarch Money helps you manage your money, helps you manage your budget, and it helps you manage and build wealth. Don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use Locked On College, all one word, Locked On College at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. Code Locked On College. Brian Smith, host of The Portal, hanging out with us today. I want to get your thoughts on Auburn's quarterback commit, Peyton Falzone, but let's jump into Lesiah Jackson, 6'3", 175, a corner from Leesburg, Georgia, committed to Stanford. And I mean, I haven't met this kid, but talking or listening to people who have talked to him, they just talk about how impressive Lesiah Jackson is as a human being, but you're pretty impressed with his tape as well.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to interview the young man, but his film says I'm going to eventually play in the NFL. So 6'2 plus, can play corner, free safety, or star, as Nick liked to call it, the overhang position. I really don't care where you play him. But Lee County, for those that don't know, is one of the premier public school programs in the country. Their weight room literally is like an NFL weight room.
Okay.
They put all the money into it and all that. It matters. They're coached well. And they put him out at corner against guys because their schedule was legit. And he's able to lock up guys that are 5'9", 5'10", at the 6A, 7A level in Georgia. Georgia's #1 in the country per capita in the NFL. So that's a very good sign. And he's a physical kid, too. He'll come up and thump somebody. I would look at it, if he only wanted to play offense, I would take him to play offense. I haven't even seen any film of offense.
Interesting.
He's that good an athlete. I care less. He's got the arms like a spider. He fits the profile that you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, his official is in October now. Visited this past weekend. Sounds like he was blown away by Auburn. I mean, the environment at Jordan-Hare Saturday night was electric. And the coaching staff's able to say, like, and that was Ball State. Just wait. just wait till you come back for an Iron Bowl or when Auburn plays Georgia or whatever it might be. That's something I think is going to carry some weight. So I haven't seen any RPMs or crystal balls for Lesiah Jackson to flip from Stanford to Auburn, but we'll see. And some of this, like a lot of times when guys are committed to Stanford, there's like an academic element to it where it's like, if that's super important to you, like that makes it significantly tougher, obviously. And I don't know why you would commit to Stanford if that's not important.
Yeah, that's a challenge there. That's not a
Right.
normal situation. Like they got like 2 essays just to get in on their app. It's not a normal school. So academically, he's good. And he's got faith in his life.
You just kind of got to hope that like, he doesn't take a lot of pride in like a Stanford degree or something like that. That's going to be a recruiting battle.
Oh, yeah. But Stanford is also a team without a true head coach. And they are, and I'm not trying to pick on them, they are literally the worst team in the Power 4 this year because of their circumstance. And I'm sure that's why he's up in the air, because they don't know who their head coach is going to be. And
they don't know that. I mean, what conference are they going to be in 2 years? Like, there's a lot of questions about Stanford right now. Yeah,
I mean, they can't even sell out when they play against Cal or Notre Dame. That's their fan base isn't serious. So they got detriments. But again, that degree carries weight around the world. So I get it.
It does. I mean, we saw Ashton Daniels transfer from Stanford, but he wanted to stay at Stanford through the spring because he wanted a Stanford degree, which I don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Lasiah Jackson, the corner, committed to Stanford. Seems interested in Auburn, which is all you can ask for at this point. Peyton Falzone, Auburn's 2026 quarterback commit, made it down this past weekend, and by all accounts, it seems like he was impressed with everything Auburn had to offer. Yeah,
I liked his film from the early. I don't know if you've watched any, but I'm like, okay, now he's throwing the ball better than he did last year. Last year he was herky-jerky. You could just tell he was just a phenomenal athlete, and he was a ball of clay. He still has many layers to jump up, but now he's throwing the deep ball. His motion's more consistent, and he's gotten thicker. Like you can tell he's put on some weight.
Yeah, he's getting some weight. Yeah, good weight.
Yeah, and he's still a guy that if he wanted to, I'm not suggesting this, he could go play H-back or something, be a flex tight end. He's just that good an athlete. So he fits like what Jackson Arnold's doing. There's some of those wrong. I'm not saying he's it's not far probably, but he's in that kind of level of athlete where he can burn you. I think he's a very good fit for the RPO game that is in college today. And of course, it's what Auburn runs pretty much every play. So I'm curious to see what he's going to be able to do at Auburn one day.
Yeah. The timeline makes some sense. He'd be a year behind Deuce. And then, you got to assume he'd be redshirted one of those years. And so if he's patient and he's the guy after Deuce, he'd have a few years, assuming Deuce only plays 3 seasons of college football.
Yeah.
The opportunity would be there for Peyton
Junior,
Falzone.
senior, 5th year, senior. He could be a 3-year start technically. So you could be a millionaire doing that too. So it's not a bad gig.
Yeah. So worth noting for sure. Brian, how can people check out everything you've got? Go real quick. I mean, just because I haven't talked to you on the show since then, what have you thought of Auburn through their first 2 games?
They just look more focused. They look more confident.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially on offense.
Did you share with people the text that I sent you randomly the other day? Or were you too scared to share that? Don't tell me you don't remember that text. It's the most important text I've sent you all year.
I don't remember it.
Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible.
Hold on. Hold on. No, I didn't. Say it. Go ahead.
I think Auburn is going to beat Alabama, and I just think they're better coached. And they have more focus. Like Alabama, don't get me wrong, talent is grotesque. They don't have much chemistry, especially on offense. Their offensive line is soft, and they've got multiple guys that might go in the first round. Zach, that doesn't make any sense. They had 80-some yards rushing against Florida State in a short-handed one at that. Come on, man. They got punched in the mouth. They gave up 230 yards rushing to Florida State. They're pretty good, but they're still not anywhere near as talented as Alabama. They got problems. So if you're not going to beat them this year, when are you going to beat them? This team's got some chemistry. Quarterback's there. Your offensive line's playing good. This is the year, brother.
Yeah, from your mouth to God's ears, my guy. How can people check out everything you've got going on?
Sure. Locked On Seminoles and Locked On the Portal. Recruiting's getting ready to ramp back up, but especially the portal part, because we got some firings coming up. I actually did my top 5 firing thing, and it won't shock anybody. Billy Napier is at the top of the board. He is not long for Gainesville. That's going to could cause upheaval even with Auburn and everybody else because of assistants and everything else. It's just part of the coaching world. So
yeah,
we'll see a lot of movement very, very soon.
Yeah, Auburn's gone up against Florida for a lot of big recruits too. So I mean, we'll see if that opens things up, if that is to happen in the next month or so. So we'll see. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.